All right, guys. Welcome into episode 17 of the Wildcard Lads. I'm Ryan.
Peter.
And I'm Markello.
We are on to the final week of the 2020 NFL season with quite a lot on the line for some teams, whether that's getting into the playoffs or improving your draft. Yeah. So week 17 will be weird. I believe they've already announced the Chiefs are resting their starters because they have the number 1 seat locked up. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are not playing Big Ben, Cameron Hayward, or TJ Watt against the Browns.
Yeah, the only thing that sucks is I feel like a lot of the matchups I'm looking at them now, it's either a team that's trying to make the playoffs or improve their seed playing against a team that's already bottom of the league and is probably just going to be playing for a better pick at this point because they're not playing for nothing.
I believe week 17 is all divisional games, right?
Yes. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, it is.
So I believe every game is mostly on at 1 p.m. There's like a night game. There's one night game and like 3, I think, at 4. But majority of the games.
No, we have a few afternoon games. We have a good amount of afternoon games actually. The 4:30 games. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8. Oh wow, never mind. I'm wrong. And what? 1, 2, 3. All right,
and just the one Sunday night.
1 p.m. games. My bad. I thought it was all 1 p.m. All right. Well, we'll hop into it. Dolphins at Bills. Well, we're still not really sure if
Buffalo. Yeah, I don't know if the Bills are resting anyone.
Are they? I know they're clinched into the division, but seeding-wise, are they clinched into a specific seed?
No, they can still get the number 2 seed, which is why I don't know why Pittsburgh are benching Ben.
I think the benching of Ben was more injury-related.
Well, what about TJ Watt and Cameron Hayward?
Maybe they just don't care about the seeding because they're confident in whoever they match up. Who would be we don't even know in the AFC who's going to be the 6th, 7th seed. We have no idea.
Dolphins, they're all still alive. So.
We have to see if Cleveland wins. We have to see, Colts, Titans, how that all plays out.
So for right now, I just put the Bills right now because I haven't heard anything about Josh Allen being benched or not benched, but rested. So I'm gonna go Buffalo. I don't know how you watched the Buffalo should really be 8-0 if it wasn't for the Kyler Murray Hail Mary in their last 8 games. So they've been on fire, and if they play their starters, I'm pretty sure they're gonna beat the Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Just like barring any benchings or anything like that, I'm gonna ride this one out with Buffalo. They just look way too crazy, especially last week against the Pats. That was. Oof.
Yeah, I'm 100% going Buffalo as long as their starters play, or at least Josh Allen at the very least. Only for the fact that it's a December game in Buffalo. Tua hasn't really experienced that yet. It's going to be his first time, and they're still doing this back and forth. Regardless that they beat the Raiders in the fashion they did with Ryan Fitzpatrick at the end of the game, you can't keep flip-flopping like this. Brian Flores said in an interview, if we need to call in our relief pitcher in the 9th inning, that's what we'll do every week, and you're just not going to win playoff games like that. Yeah, it's not going to happen. You need to stick with one guy.
Because usually the first-year quarterbacks aren't in this position to be making the playoffs. But like if they didn't put in Fitzpatrick last week, I don't think they win the game. So.
No, but it's also going to be your downfall too in the playoffs.
I know, but
you get there,
it'd be nice for them to make it.
Well, yeah, they already have whatever a top 5 pick locked up with Houston. It's not like their pick means anything. Obviously, you want to win as much as you can, get the experience. You want your rookie quarterback to have playoff experience, so when the next time comes around, it's not the first time he's seeing things. Because playoff football is just different. They come at you with different everything that teams prepared for during the year. It's completely new stuff that they bring at you, whether it's blitz packages or whatever the case is. And a lot of the playoff seeds now, because we have the extra seed, we're going to see a lot of division teams playing for a third time in the playoffs. So they're going to throw different stuff at you.
Yeah, we'll be interested with the Dolphins.
It'll be Bills as long as they play starters.
This could be a scenario where Buffalo play their starters and then bench them after halftime.
If they're up a decent amount, yeah.
Will they be up a decent amount? Don't forget the Dolphins, just because it's going to be cold weather and they're not used to it, even if they're down at half, they're still going to be playing their asses off. It's their season on the line.
Yeah, no,
they didn't clinch playoffs yet.
Like them scoring a lot. I just meant in terms of Buffalo maybe just wanting to give people rest going into the playoffs. But anyway, I think we're going 3 Bills if they all play. And maybe the Bills don't want the Dolphins in the playoff. I don't know. They're the divisional rival. So who knows? Next game, Ravens at Bengals. Ravens are one of the hottest teams in the league, and I believe they're winning.
Apparently, so are the Bengals, though. So, the hell is going on back to back?
No, but the Ravens need a win.
Yeah,
It's going to be an easy one for the Ravens, but it's like, what can we talk about? What's going on with the Bengals?
Yeah, Ryan.
Why are they all of a sudden like coming to life and winning games?
They ran into Pittsburgh at the perfect time, right?
Yeah,
Whatever that primetime game, because that was the beginning of the downfall for Pittsburgh. Where their offense stalled out and everything, and the injuries on defense. So they just caught them at the perfect time. And I, to be honest, don't know how they won their last game. I was completely surprised because they jumped from whatever it was, the 3rd or 4th pick, up now to the 6th or 7th pick, just from that.
Yeah,
one
I just
win.
thought Deshaun Watson would have been able to put him away last game.
I mean,
Well, remember he got hurt at the end of the game.
Yeah,
Shouldn't have been in a scenario where it was that close.
the Texans defense couldn't stop Brandon Allen or Bernard or P. Ryan all day. So that game was literally a shootout. It went back and forth all day. Every
Yeah,
time.
no, it's crazy.
But yeah, I'm going Ravens here. They're one of the hottest teams in the league, and I can't see a Baltimore coach team being like losing to the. This has happened before. Remember Tyler Boyd, Andy Dalton a few years ago. So this is a matchup that's happened before, but I don't think it happens again.
Not without Burrow.
No.
And the Ravens are using their soldiers now. Marquise Brown has like a touchdown for the past few weeks. Des Bryant had a touchdown. He has 2 now on the season. They're using the soldiers.
I mean, they probably figured that, all right, we can't let Lamar run loose all the time because teams just figured it out at this point. And they don't really have a running back caliber there to like just give it to them 20, 30 times a game. So
J.K.
might as well
Dobbins
use
is
the
getting
guys.
unleashed.
They have a nice rotation. Yeah, Dobbins is coming on, and
Yeah, but you can't
comparing it.
Apparently,
You can't go
Morgan's
into-
healthy.
you can't go into a week and give Dobbins like 20, 30 carries and be like, all right, this guy's going to put up like amazing numbers.
No, but yeah,
For
Gus
me, at
Edwards
least.
too, they rotate.
No, between the three, between Lamar running, Gus Edwards, and J.K. Dobbins, it's been nice the last month of the season.
Where's Mark Ingram? He's healthy.
He's a healthy scratch.
Yeah, they're just phasing him out at this point. They know.
He's going to be cut in the offseason.
That's not even phasing out. He's not playing.
Oh, yeah,
He's phased out. That's it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a slow kind of thing. It was you got hurt and that's it.
It was. They were still giving him touches and feeding J.K. Dobbins very slowly. Then he got hurt and they're like, all right, sorry, dude. Nice man up.
Yeah, it wasn't like Mark Ingram was super productive this year anyway when healthy.
Yeah, they were giving him a good share of the touches in the offense, and he just wasn't producing.
Their 2nd-round pick came on, so. But anyway, I think we're all going Ravens here.
Yeah, 3 Ravens for this week.
The next one's going to be interesting. Steelers at Browns. I believe the Browns are win and in situation as well. I picked Cleveland only because Mason Rudolph will be starting, and no Cameron Hayward, no T.J. Watt. It wouldn't completely stun me if the Steelers still win this game because, well, we need the Browns receivers to come back after last week's, COVID scare. They literally had no receivers playing against the Jets. And if that's the case again, the Steelers will win this game, but I'm pretty sure they'll,
They should be back because it was just close contact.
But, yeah, I'm going to go Cleveland here.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you. I don't have the faith in Mason Rudolph.
No, yeah, that's easy Cleveland. You add up all the starters not playing for Pittsburgh and then the fact that the Browns need to win. And it's just, the Steelers are, they're apparently they don't care for the 2 or 3 seed if they're benching all these people. And again, the teams like Baltimore, Cleveland, Indianapolis, these are teams are just going to go all out because they need a win.
A lot of easy matchups this week, huh?
Well, I mean,
that's what I'm saying because it's week 17. Some people aren't playing.
I wouldn't lock this one in either.
What, the Cleveland game?
I mean, the Jets did win last week, so really all you have to do.
Who knows what you guys are doing over there?
I mean, Jacksonville's going to win another game, so you might as well bring Browns fans misery. So, which we did, but they should be able to, bounce back this week. And if they don't, that would be a real shame to end their season when they had it all locked up and then they played the 1-13 Jets and couldn't win, or a backup Steelers team. That would be the most Browns thing ever to end the season with, but
miss the playoffs, losing to
the playoffs
Steelers.
matchups after having a phenomenal season. But we'll see. That's what makes the NFL great. But we're all going Browns here. Next one, Vikings at Lions. I don't think we need to
No
talk
Dalvin
about
Cook.
to Detroit
Yeah.
last week. That is
Right.
pathetic again.
Sweep it up as a 3 Lions for this one.
This season, man, every time they're on prime time, it's just a complete embarrassment.
Kirk Cousins doesn't play well.
What, this time?
I just don't like Kirk Cousins in general.
Yeah,
think
but
he's the
Detroit
big
can't
issue
win
on
a
that
game.
team.
There's no way they could win a football game right now.
Detroit's, I think they're the worst team. Well, no, second worst team right now in the league behind Jacksonville.
Yeah, I don't know.
Their defense, man, is so terrible.
Apparently, so is their offense without Stafford.
Well, we knew that. That wasn't. Yeah. And after he left the game in like the first series, he knew that game was over. And man, like the Bucs are running wide open against the Lions. So even though Dalvin Cook's not playing this week, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson will just torch this defense. So going Vikings.
All I know is on behalf of Saints Nation, we will welcome Matt Stafford and his family with open arms to New Orleans next season. We'll roll out the red carpet and all. We don't care. We'll make it happen.
He's going to San Fran.
It's time for him to leave. He needs to go anywhere else besides stay in Detroit.
They were mentioning the Colts as a possible option because Rivers might retire if they don't make the playoffs.
I mean, he needs to at this point. He's been horrible this year.
I think the Lions will go full rebuild, just strip it all down. They don't really have much anyway, so they might as well just go on a 3-4 year plan. Let's hop on to the next game. Jets at Patriots. I actually think the Jets are going to win again, so I'm just going Jets.
Any reasoning?
I mean, look, the
Matchups,
Patriots
what
actually
lights
looked
are
really
confident?
bad.
Reasoning.
The Patriots looked really, really bad.
No Gilmore anymore. The Patriots couldn't stop the pass.
Yeah.
And the 2 weeks before that, Cam Akers ran 200 yards, and Ahmed and the Dolphins ran 200 yards, and they could do nothing against the Raiders. So I'm going Jets. Patriots just look dead to me. They look, I don't know. There's nothing there. Like we've seen Cam Newton's like done, shoulders done. N'Keal Harry can't get open for what
He still thinks he's coming back next year, though.
Who? Cam Newton?
Cam Newton.
To New England or just in the NFL in general?
I think just in general.
I would not return to New England. Like that team, they're gonna go completely rebuild.
Yeah, but where else is he going to go if he doesn't return?
I don't know. I mean, anyone right now would just that team stinks. They stink. Like their best weapon on offense right now is Sony Michel.
That's
yeah,
sad.
at least he had a good game, right?
Yeah, he had
Last time we saw a good song.
He had one big run in the first quarter, and that was more than half his yards.
I'm going Patriots. I don't care how much the Jets are winning their 2-game win streak and how bad the Patriots have looked all season, let alone the past few weeks. Adam Gase and Sam Darnold in no context or situation are beating Bill Belichick in New England. I don't care what the context is. I don't care if there's a global pandemic. I don't care if Cam Newton's the quarterback or Jared Stidham's the quarterback. The Patriots could have an 0-15 season. They wouldn't lose this game to Adam Gase and the Jets.
Nah, there's no way.
Patriots.
I don't know, man. Bill
Patriots.
Belichick has been touting Adam Gase as a great coach.
Yeah, because he wants to keep him in the division so he can keep winning.
So,
He wants to keep him in the division.
I mean, for the Jets' sake, I do hope the Patriots win because this doesn't affect the Jets at all, whether they win, lose, or tie. So we're locked in at number 2. Patriots winning to hit what, 7 wins, or what are they, 6 right now? If they hit 7 wins, they just lose. They just go lower in the draft. So I'll take that. It was a win-win.
That's another reason I feel like they won't win this game. I think they know it's kind of time.
No,
Yeah, I
they
think
have
so.
every reason not to win this game, but
They're
it is
picking
impossible for
they're
Bill
picking
Belichick to lose to Adam Gase.
14th overall right now. They're going to miss out on all the quarterbacks unless they trade up. So if they win this game, they're going to hit like 16 or 17.
Yeah.
What are you going, Markello?
I'm going to close it out with Jets win, of course. You guys have looked unstoppable, dude.
3 in a row, yeah. I mean, if the playoffs are right now, I'll be going to the Super Bowl, right?
That's awful.
Let's move on. Cowboys at Giants. Let's hear
This is a game where I don't even think we should win, but we're going to figure out a way to win. So let's call it as a Giants win.
Giants. Are the Giants making the playoffs?
I mean, apparently I think if they win this game and I think
And
Washington
Washington
loses,
You're in.
is Washington going to lose?
Are the Cowboys still mathematically alive? Yes, right?
If they win
And
and Washington loses, they're in.
Okay.
So it's like Washington needs to lose, and then whoever wins the Giants and Jets game wins the division.
You mean Giants and Cowboys?
Oh, sorry, Giants Cowboys. Sorry, Giants
That's
Cowboys.
going to win the NFC East if we played in the NFC East.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. 3 and.
I was kidding.
Nah, but yeah, I don't know. Whoever wins that game, I think the Giants will do something stupid and mess up our draft considerations and get bounced out of the playoffs first round. Very Giants move.
Before we even finish, who are you going, Ryan?
Cowboys. Andy
Cowboys?
Dalton is hot.
They've looked hot. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, I think you'll play them well. I mean, not as bad as Philly did, especially with Michael Gallup went off, Amari Cooper went off, and then CeeDee Lamb had the big touchdown. I don't think it's gonna be that kind of game again, but I don't know. I'm gonna go with Dallas. Dallas have been playing well. I can't even believe Mike McCarthy's team is pretty hot in December.
yeah, they flipped the switch. I'll give it to them.
Win this game and possibly make the playoffs. So I'm going Dallas.
Yeah, in terms of the Cowboys-Giants game, I'm going to go Cowboys too. I'm just riding the hot hand. And even though I have no faith, I actually have more faith in Joe Judge rallying troops for a big win than Mike McCarthy. But again, for the Cowboys to be playing the way they're playing at the end of the season now, everybody's getting the ball. Gallup's having his big game. CeeDee's having his big games. Amari's still doing what Amari does.
I mean, granted, though, the Giants have a pretty decent secondary. I think we'll match up pretty well with them.
It's just hard, especially it's a division game. Like, even if you're able to lock up one of them, you have two of them running wild. And that's not even taking into account Ezekiel Elliott because he hasn't been, that effective and efficient this season.
You looked okay. Finally.
I just think the Giants are a year away. And look, at the end of the day, it's not even a big deal because you're going to end up with.
I'll take my draft pick. Yeah, I don't care.
You're going to end up with the 5th pick or whatever.
But I'm just saying, I think it's the very Giants thing to do is mess up the future. And
I actually think whoever wins that game is going to be the division winner because I don't have Washington beating Philadelphia.
Interesting.
Well, that'll be interesting. That's our last game of the week. But let's go Falcons at Bucks. We know the Bucks are playing every starter because Bruce Arians wants the number 5 seed, so he can play the winner of the NFC East.
Yeah,
which is probably smart. I mean, that should be the easiest matchup, although you never know in the playoffs. But the Falcons have been playing well. They always seem to choke it away or just do something crazy and dumb. Young Hoku missed a 39-yard field goal to tie against the Chiefs and force overtime. But that's the most Falcon thing ever. So I'm gonna go Bucks here. Even though they're not going to have as good as a game as they did against Detroit, obviously. Like, this is a division game. Their first matchup was tight like 2 weeks ago, and the Falcons blew it. I just have a feeling this game will be a little bit different. I just feel like it'll be closer than it was. I know Falcons were up big. I just have a feeling this will be Bucks by like 7 points.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a close game. I'm going Buccaneers. Again, it's the same situation where the Falcons, we don't know what's going on with Matt Ryan or Julio Jones, who's going to be where next season or if they're both going to stay. We don't know what's going on with the roster in general, if they're going to blow it up. And they're in a prime position to have, obviously, I think they already have a locked-in top 10 pick, right, even if they win this game?
Yeah, I believe they're picking 4th right now overall, so they should be good.
Yeah, they're going to stay put. There's no reason for Tom Brady to lose this game. If Tom Brady's trying, that's good enough for a win, let alone where, Atlanta is as a team. I don't think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be as bad as the Detroit game last week. But it's definitely going to be, I think, 14-plus points.
Yeah, I don't know about 14. I'm thinking in the range of like 7 to 10, like kind of like Ryan. I just don't see the Bucks going like super, super hard this game. They're going to play to win, but I don't think they're just going to like have like Ryan said, a Detroit game like last week.
Well, we know they're going to force Mike Evans the ball because I believe he's 34 yards short of hitting 1,000 yards for like 7 straight seasons. So they're going for that. I know that, but they took advantage of the Lions matchup. They just kept throwing it to them. But yeah, I think we're all going Bucks here. Let's move on now. The 425 games, Packers at Bears. The Bears need to win this game to get in, unless the Cardinals lose, which is looking less and less possible now with the Rams injuries and COVID cases. So I'm going Packers here. I can never remember the Bears winning a meaningful game against the Packers ever. Mitch Trubisky has been hot, though, so it wouldn't, be crazy. Dave Montgomery's still playing well. They have Allen Robinson. There's definitely possibility the Bears win this. But Aaron Rodgers and the Packers have no plans to rest anybody because they're still fighting for the number 1 seat, even though they probably have it. and Aaron Rodgers is on his way to his third MVP. So I'm going Packers here.
Yeah, I have to agree. They're just riding way too hot. They're playing, like you said, for the number 1 seed, and I just don't see them taking off the foot off the gas at this point.
And I'm
he
sure
knows what he's playing for.
Rodgers probably wants to beat the Bears pretty badly.
Yeah, and like Mitch Trubisky has been hot, but I think this is like kind of the wake-up call game where he's just going to fall flat on his face.
And I don't know, obviously he destroyed Jacksonville, but I don't know if you've seen it close to halftime. He threw that interception in the red zone. He threw it up. You do that against Packers, you're done. The Rodgers.
Okay, so
the sole Bears fan of the week.
Saints fan perspective. In order for the New Orleans Saints to have the number 1 seed in the NFC and the first round bye, what we need to happen is to take care of the Panthers, which we will do. No Christian McCaffrey, no Mike Davis, and the Saints are playing their starters. So that's going to be taken care of. I'm not even worried about the Panthers game. We need the Seahawks to beat the 49ers, and although I do think it'll be a close game because, you're still going to have Kittle playing, and the 49ers are no slouches. The Seahawks are still playing for seeding as well. They're not resting anybody, if I'm correct. They're still going to have Russell Wilson out there and the guys. So I'm confident. It's not certain locked in, but I'm confident the Seahawks could beat the 49ers. And then we have the Packers and the Bears. We need the Bears to win. So last week was the perfect scenario in which, Arizona lost, and that gave Bears life. Because if Arizona won last week, they would have already had this playoff seed locked in. Because if both teams win and they finish the same record, Chicago gets the tiebreaker. So this is a must-win game for Chicago. And although I'm not going to pick against Aaron Rodgers, playing MVP season, Devonta Adams, you could argue he's in the MVP conversation in the few games he's played. Not few games, he missed 6 games. But nobody has stopped him this year, and I could remember in a long time. But you never count out a team that's in the division and that's playing for everything. So I'm going to pick Packers, but I'm not locking it in. I'm not saying it's 100% Packers going to win. I am giving the Bears a chance. They're at home. They're still riding hot. And again, it's a must win. It's win or go home. This is their playoff game. So I'm going Packers, but we need the Bears to win. That's just really what, determines the number 1 seed in the NFC. The Bears winning or not.
Remember the Bears had the game won last year on a lateral. He didn't throw it to Robinson, I believe. That's the most ever happened. It probably this year.
The thing is, I really truly wish that this game was a 1:00 game, so we would just know if it even mattered or not. Either way, I would want Drew Brees to play because he has some rust to knock off and just get himself in the field of things. But after Kamara's historic performance, the 6 touchdown game, there's no reason to give him the week off. Michael Thomas still needs his few weeks off on IR, but we could rest some of our offensive linemen, even though we're getting back healthy now. We're still a little nicked up, and they're not all playing at 100%. They're playing at 80, 85, 90%. And there's definitely some guys on defense too we could rest. Cam Jordan needs a rest. He hasn't looked the same since the start of the season. There's just guys that we could rest, but we can't because we don't know if Green Bay is going to lose or not. So that's the only frustrating thing.
Probably not.
But, yeah, I'm going to go – in terms of this game, I'm going Packers, but we need the Bears to win.
With that segue, you might as well talk about your Saints at Panthers.
It's not going to be a chance again. No McCaffrey, no Mike Davis. The running game, we're probably not even – I'm predicting less than 75 yards of rushing total for the Carolina team. Again, Carolina plays his own defense, and Drew Brees, it's going to be target practice. So it's just going to be a warm-up game for the wild card round if we don't get the first round bye. Going Saints.
Yeah, super easy. Super, super easy week for you guys. You guys actually couldn't have asked for a better matchup going into the wild card.
Yeah, I'm going Saints too, but Teddy Bridgewater hasn't been playing that good, but I have a feeling Panthers will score in this one. They seem to play pretty well against the Saints. But I'm still going Saints here.
I mean, yeah, you got to figure no McCaffrey, no Mike Davis. How much impact is DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson going to have?
McCaffrey really hasn't played this year, for being honest. Played 3 games.
Yeah.
Mike Davis has been pretty good this year, but the last few weeks he's kind of been splitting the carries anyway. He hasn't been the main guy, the main workload. Like I think the Panthers will score like 20 plus points every time I see that you guys play, and it's either DJ Moore, last game, Curtis Samuel. Like there's definitely the Panthers are going to score in this game. It's just Saints are going to score.
Yeah, because anywhere Joe Brady goes, you can get guaranteed points. That's something we'll talk about at the end of calling all the games. We'll talk about coaching. So it's 3 Saints?
Yeah, we're all going Saints here. Let's go to this game, Raiders at Broncos. Anyone want to start?
Yeah, I'm going Raiders. Even though the Drew Lock, again, I think he's shown enough that you ride him out next year and you give him a healthy offense. Yes, he's shown enough, Ryan. He's shown enough. Give him Cortland Sutton, his favorite weapon. Give him the second year Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy had too many drops last week. Give him a third option in Tim Patrick. Give him a healthy Noah Fant. Give him a healthy offensive line and a healthy
He still
running game.
overthrows his receivers, though. Like,
He's
win overthrown games. Jeudy.
Drew Lock could win games. Just give him a shot. Let next year be the do or die all. You don't have to abandon ship now.
I think you cut
get Von Miller back, get your defense back. There's no
because they're going to be in a position when they lose this game this week. When they lose this game this week, they're going to be, I think, in a better position in the draft. So I think you cut your losses and you take one of these like stellar QB prospects that are going to be out there for you.
No, I'm sorry. I don't think the Drew Lock experiment's done yet. Because he's shown promise. Unlike the other quarterbacks that have played in Denver the past few years, he's shown the promise.
You could say Daniel Jones has shown promise too, but it doesn't mean that we got to get a new quarterback in a year or two. Probably this year, honestly. If honestly, I would take a quarterback this year if I were the Giants. Just give Joe Judge who he wants.
Already?
I don't know, man. He's still making the same mistakes. Like you can't fix something that's embedded in someone. You know what I mean?
You can't live with these guys turning the ball over every game.
Yeah,
it's not sustainable. It's just terrible.
Tell me, Sam Darnold.
This another one, dude. Sam Darnold. Like I love Sam Darnold, but it's time for him to go. You can't keep making the same mistakes and then like
about 200 yards passing. It's like, guys, what are we watching here? We went 0-13. Like, is it all on him? Absolutely not. Is it like we're going into year 4 of this guy? Like it's over here. Like people got to move on. How often are you picking second overall and not trading up for it?
I'm in the boat of drafting a quarterback.
No, I know. People are like, you're telling me a GM who didn't draft Sam Darnold's going to stick with him? Like, and if you do stick with him, right, you're narrowing your coaching candidates to like Marvin Lewis and like, the lower tier guys. You're not getting a top candidate to come here.
We'll get into the off-season teams after. Let's call the games. I'm going Raiders again.
I think
isn't there still mathematically a way they can make the playoffs? Like it depends on a lot of what ifs, but they're still a way. They are eliminated.
No, they're out. They're out.
After the Dolphins lost, yeah, they're eliminated.
Oh, okay. So this is an irrelevant game. I'm still gonna go Raiders though.
Yeah, I think so too. But they've been slumping the past couple weeks, whatever. But let the Raiders be the Raiders and ruin draft positioning and get them a win this week.
Yeah, even though they dropped off at the end of the season,
By the way, I called the Drew Lock John Elway game last week. Severely disappointed me.
I was with you too. Terrible last week.
Yeah, so that's another reason. Just let that guy go. Cut your ties.
No, don't cut your ties. You have to give him one more chance with a healthy team because he hasn't had that yet.
No, the only good game I can recall this year was against the Panthers like 3 weeks ago from Drew Lock.
Yeah, when he had the John Elway game.
He had that comeback performance against
the Chargers the first time. Yeah. Oh, and I guess maybe if you want to throw in Atlanta, but we're just mentioning bottom defenses in the NFL.
All right, but give him one more chance. 1 year. We'll give him one full year because he's been hurt too. Don't act like he hasn't been playing with his sprained throwing shoulder this season, and then last season too with injuries. Let him be healthy for one season. Let the offense be healthy. Let even the defense be healthy. Give him a shot with a healthy roster. That's it. And if he's bad again next season, then you could cut your ties.
All right. Well, I think me and Markel are going to disagree with you on that, especially Denver's picking in the top 8 because right now they're 10th overall. If they do lose this game, they won't take a quarterback. I think you're right, Peter, but that doesn't mean I can't mock them to take a quarterback because they should take a quarterback. But for this game, I'm picking the Raiders, even though it seems like every week they just choke a game away or something crazy happens. But watch, this will be the game Drew Lock now plays good in. It'll be week 7, no pressure, and then bang, beats the Raiders. But I'm just gonna go Raiders here. It's
not a lock in.
If Denver do win this, it wouldn't stun me either.
All right.
Let's hop on to the next game. Jaguars at Colts. The Colts need help. They need to win, and they need one of the 3 teams to lose. I'm going Colts here. This is actually unfortunate for the Colts because everyone they need to to lose is they play at 1 p.m. So if all three teams win, they're going to be crushed going into this game. But
They're still going to win the game anyway.
Yeah, the Colts are still going to win this game. Jaguars are still not turning to Gardner Minshew, and they've already locked in the number 1 pick, so they clearly hate him down there. Mike Glennon's playing again.
Poor guy.
Yeah, the Jaguars they're done this year. They were an embarrassment to the league, if we're being honest. They didn't try at all. So I'm going Colts.
Yeah, this is the worst team in the league. They're going to stay the worst team in the league. Just because they have the number 1 pick locked in doesn't mean they're going to start playing great football against one of the better teams in the league. It's going to be easy. Colts have something to play for. And Jaguars from weeks ago decided that they're just going to try next season.
I will say I do hope the Colts make it in. Like I think they're a better team than the Dolphins. I'd rather the Colts get in. But
yeah, I'd rather see Phil Rivers.
The thing is, when you choke away a 24-7 lead, you can't feel sorry for the Colts if they don't make it.
I know, but it's not like they did it against a sorry team.
The Bengals beat the Steelers last week, so we can,
That makes the Steelers sorry.
That's a sorry team, bro.
Steelers
are frauds.
The Steelers aren't sorry. They just
not a sorry team, but they've been sorry for like the last month.
They just stall out, and this time it was the opposite. They got hot.
Let's see how the Steelers do like in the playoffs. If they go home in the first round, then I think they've been a sorry team for the last month.
Now, if they go out in the first round, Mike Tomlin is a fantastic coach, but is that more?
You don't get rid of
Mike
Tomlin.
No, I'm not saying get rid of Mike Tomlin. Is that more of like starting to put him on the hot seat? Let's keep an eye out. Maybe it's the coach is the reason why we haven't won a playoff game, or you just move on from Big Ben.
Absolutely not.
Not on my.
Absolutely, you move on from Big Ben. Big Ben's your issue there. I think. I don't think.
Okay, and let's say you get a competent quarterback. Like how many more chances can Mike Tomlin get in the playoffs and not?
I don't know. The offensive coordinator has to go for Pittsburgh. That's number one. I don't
know
but
down there. My issue is that Mike Tomlin is a fantastic coach. He is. Wherever he goes in the league in his life, he will win football games because that's just what he does. He's a great regular season football coach. But in the playoffs, granted, he ran into Bill Belichick a lot, but how could he not get over the hump?
You just said it. He ran into Bill Belichick a lot.
It seems like every.
What about Ryan? We talked about this last week. What about when they ran into Jacksonville that one year?
All right, that was pretty.
That was a great Jacksonville team, though. That was like an amazing defense.
You're Mike Tomlin.
Come on,
prime Big Ben.
Yeah, that I agree.
You had a prime roster.
That one was painful for the Steelers because that was the year they probably could have won it.
But that was an amazing Jacksonville team. You can't take anything away from that
Jacksonville
team.
The Jacksonville was basically one play away from making the Super Bowl that year too.
Yeah, exactly.
But I will say
that was a really good team.
I don't know. My thing is, if I'm a Steelers fan, I don't want to sound unappreciative because not every team in the league. Look at the Jets. The Jets would love to have somebody like Mike Tomlin. Even if you don't win playoff games, you're still in the playoffs. But as a Steelers fan, you sit around all these years and you're like, it's been so long since we won a Super Bowl. And every single time we make the playoffs, it's just we find a way to lose it. It's like being a Saints fan right now.
Yeah, but
I love Sean Payton. I wouldn't want to fire him.
You guys have been costed, though.
Yeah, the refs also just love screwing over the Saints.
You guys have been really costed. I can't even say so.
Yeah, but,
dude, you're in the playoffs. Be happy, man. Me and Ryan have sniffed the playoffs.
I don't want to sound unappreciative.
Jeez.
It's just you get to a point.
I went in like 2014, dude, and I got bounced out of Green Bay.
I don't understand what I'm saying.
2011, Markello.
You're not understanding what I'm saying.
No, we are. Like you're talking about Mike Tomlin and
I get what you're saying. Like you could only have so many chances and like to not produce, but the guy's getting you there every season. You can't just
it's like a Marvin Lewis effect. You remember him and the Bengals? They were in the playoffs every year.
No.
Listen,
that was more of the talent on his team carrying a coaching staff.
No, listen. I'm not comparing Marvin Lewis to Mike Tomlin, but I'm saying it's that effect where it's you have a good regular season coach, right? You guys are always making the playoffs, but you can never win a game.
But Mike Tomlin has 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah. He does. But how long has it been since the last one?
All right, when's the last time the Saints won the Super Bowl?
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing.
Ouch,
it's the same thing.
All right, we're gunning.
It was the same thing with Mike McCarthy and Green Bay, and they cut ties.
Well, no, because we knew Mike McCarthy sucked.
But they were still winning regular season games.
No, the Rodgers was carrying them to the NFC Championship game every year, and they couldn't win because their defense sucked.
I have a question.
That's even more
all right.
Because his roster's always good.
Well, what about like
No,
last
but
year?
dude,
Mike Tomlin took a sorry roster to like 8-8, whatever he did, 9-7.
Yeah, last year. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. That's what you guys are misunderstanding, or that I'm unappreciative of what he's
Like, the
done.
but
reason
you
why-
can't put him on the hot seat if he's
If
done
they-
all this
yeah,
for
if
you.
they do lose this
I'm not
season,
putting him on the hot seat. I'm saying when will it be time to think about, hey, maybe Mike Tomlin just can't get over the hump anymore.
I give him a 3-year window with a new quarterback, and that's it.
whenever
That's
he
what I would give him.
Okay, that's my question. I'm not saying you have to put him on the hot seat next season.
Pittsburgh don't fire coaches anyway until they retire. So
I know they've had
That's
like
true.
3 coaches in the past million years.
Yeah.
and
But yeah, no, I'd say 3 years with a new quarterback would probably be a good.
But that's how it works in football and in life. Sometimes it's like with Matt Stafford. It's not like he's the problem. He's a great quarterback. Obviously, it's been the roster around him and the coaching staff around him. But sometimes it's just time to go separate ways. It's best for both parties to go separate ways. So my question was just that for Pittsburgh Steelers fan, even though he's phenomenal, one of the greatest coaches out there, when will it be time to part ways? Because unless you win something soon, I think you have to start asking yourselves that. That's all.
I'm with you because they're not going to win. Like it's going to be impossible, I think, to beat the Chiefs right now the way they are. Like even I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about like years to come.
In general, yeah.
The Buffalo, and right now the Pittsburgh have major questions at quarterback. Like Big Ben looks finished. I don't care that he came back against the Colts. Like this is it for Ben. I think maybe next he play.
Ben's gone.
Yeah, he might play next year. I don't know, but I wouldn't want him back if I was a Steelers fan. I think he's just holding back that roster.
What are the odds it's an effect of like he really wants to play, so just out of respect for what he's done for the city and everything, you bring him back, but you also bring in a young kind of backup like a Sam Darnold. Let's say they bring in Sam Darnold to back up Big Ben, and Big Ben, whether it's injury or always goes down, doesn't look good, you put in Sam Darnold and he just picks it up and then you ride it out with him. I can see
think
that
they
happening
know.
for Big Ben.
I think they know after the season, like that's it.
I think it could be an Eli Manning effect where it's, you start the season just out of respect and then you have a young stud sitting behind you and then you just phase him in.
Yeah,
Maybe
they should do something like that.
That's how I see it going. I don't think it will be a
like a
flat out
Carson
offseason
Wentz?
cut ties.
Well, it's only Wentz would be an option,
Something along those lines.
not a salary. That's the only issue.
yeah. That's
I'm
the
not
only
saying
thing,
Wentz
like,
specifically. I'm saying a Wentz Jalen
Ah,
Hurts kind
yeah.
of scenario.
Relax. You
I'm
get
just
what you're
saying.
saying?
Yeah,
You get what you're saying?
All right, no more Steelers talk.
Yeah,
I don't
we
even like
talked
the
a lot
Steelers.
about
Why are you talking about the Steelers?
That was pretty stunning.
I don't even like the Steelers.
Who was the next game?
Cardinals Rams.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, Cardinals all the way. The Rams,
Yeah, the Rams
just
aren't playing with nobody.
like Ryan said, the Rams just aren't going to be there. So
John Walford, I believe, is starting quarterback this week.
yeah, who knows?
He still has a LinkedIn. They were showing it on Twitter today, so that's pretty cool. Cooper Kupp's on the COVID list, so he's not playing, and the Rams are down 2 running backs. I believe. I don't think Cam Akers is playing, and Henderson just got placed on IR, so it's going to be John Wolford, Malcolm Brown, and Robert Woods. So it's going to be – I mean, listen, the Cardinals defense does, like, occasionally have really good games. This should be a good one for them. They've been hot in terms of sacks, but last week they did get run over by the Niners. But I believe that, Kyler Murray will be able to rise to the occasion here. I mean, this isn't a layup because the Rams still have their defense, and but
Not just their defense, just because they're not playing, without some guys. Jared Goff obviously with his thumb injury. The Rams still are playing for something. It's not one of those games where one team's playing and the other one's not, like a Falcons Buccaneers thing. This is both teams need to win this game, and they're going to try to win this game. Sean McVay is going to try to win this game. But again, Kyler Murray was a full participant in practice this week, and even if he doesn't play at 100%, I'm taking, as long as Kyler Murray's throwing a football, I'm taking Kyler Murray against the Jared Goff-less team.
And although Kyler Murray's had some so-so weeks recently, you just believe that this will be the game he comes back to, how he's been for most of the season. So, and honestly, it seems like Kyler Murray and the Cardinals are going to be on the field a lot more than the Rams offense this time.
Yeah, this offense is going to struggle on third downs.
And even though the Rams defense is really, really good, if they're on the field for 40 minutes or more, they're going to eventually break down with Kyler Murray's speed and Hopkins.
Yeah,
so.
Especially chasing after them. Yep.
And there's a scenario, right, where the Rams do not make the playoffs, even though I believe it's 90% they do anyway. But
what's the scenario they don't make it?
I believe the Bears and Cardinals win.
They're out?
Yeah, they're locked in.
No, I think
that have to happen because the
something
Rams,
else has to happen because
the Rams did beat the Bears. It has to be a 3-way tie or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the Rams were pretty much locked in, even if the Bears win.
I don't know. I believe they were 95% last week, but they did lose to Seattle, so probably lowered it a little bit to like 90. I'm pretty sure they're going to be in the playoffs
If
anyway.
you turn on NFL Network at any point this week, or especially on Sunday, they're going to keep updating you commercial breaks or whatever of the playoff scenarios and seeding scenarios, especially as the afternoon, like the 1 o'clock games finish. They're going to show you the what ifs and what means what.
So we're all saying Cardinals for this week?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought.
Let's go to our next NFC West matchup: Seahawks at Niners. I actually picked the Niners here only because I don't think Seattle's playing. They just won the division. They have nothing to play for in seeding.
Don't tell me that.
They have nothing
Oh,
to play
you think
for.
so?
No,
Right.
they have to play for the Saints.
No, but realistically, Seattle beat the Rams last week.
guy.
They locked up, I believe, their 5th division under Pete Carroll. They can't move up or down in seeding after that win, so I'd be stunned if they play Russell Wilson in them. There's no Seattle have suffered late injuries in the past, especially last year.
I didn't hear them saying they're sitting people though.
They didn't say they're sitting people. I'm just thinking logically. It makes no sense for them to risk an injury after they can't move up or down in their position. Or maybe they'll play a quarter or half. I do not believe the Seattle Seahawks are playing all 4 quarters.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat with you. They have like you said, nothing to play for. So why would they? You at that point just risk like something fucking up for the playoffs, and you can't do that if you're Pete Carroll because when are you going to be back here?
And the Niners have a good pass rush, so you don't want to risk Russell Wilson getting hit low or something, dumb. Put the season on, the playoffs.
You got to figure though, Seattle's door is slowly closing in that division.
Well, the Niners get healthy, yeah. But listen, when you're Russell Wilson, they're always going to,
I get that, but like, how long is Russell Wilson going to be Russell Wilson for?
Another 10 years.
I don't know about that, man.
Another 5 to 7, honestly.
Like, yeah, maybe another 5 to 7, but like, still, the other teams in the division are getting stronger and younger as it goes. So,
honestly,
it'll be a problem.
With Metcalf, I'm not doubting Seattle. I know what you're saying, like if Seattle.
Yeah, but even Metcalf, dude, I feel like Metcalf, we've all like blown him up. He's been, I don't know, like subpar the past couple of weeks. Like we haven't seen him dazzle like he did in the first half of the season. He's had a lot of drops.
Yeah, he does have a lot of drops, but I'm telling you, he'll rise to the occasion because he also played against Jalen Ramsey last week in a pretty tough. But I know the Seattle.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Seattle offense hasn't been as great as it's been for sure, but I'm never going to doubt. They can turn it on. Russell Wilson, he has a playoff experience. Like,
look, I love Russell Wilson too, but it just gets to a point like where you can't do it all by yourself.
We've been saying that though for like 5 years, and Seattle's always in the dance. Jamal Adams did say they had the number 1 defense in the league, which is nuts because they're ranked 32.
Yeah, I know he did say that. No, but they've been playing good the past few weeks with their defense.
But I don't care, dude. If you're ranked like 32, shut up.
Listen,
what?
Got to carry that confidence into the playoffs.
What a clown, dude! Oh
all right,
my God.
I'm picking the Seahawks because I need to pick the Seahawks. I don't care who's playing, who's not playing, who's sitting, who's playing. Doesn't matter. It's just purely ignorance. I'm picking the Seahawks to win because I need them to.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
As a Giants fan that picks off of ignorance a lot, I like that.
No, I didn't even do that with the Bears. I didn't pick the Bears because I need the Bears because, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers and stuff, but they're not playing against Jimmy Garoppolo. You know what I mean? You're still not playing against Nick Bosa.
Jimmy Garoppolo isn't like anything to.
And it's not that, obviously the 49ers have shown they could win with backups, They've been doing it for how long now?
Game of his life.
Yeah, but
you just handed off to Jeff Wilson for like 150 yards.
Dude,
not against the number 1.
For some reason, San Fran can plug in anyone at running back and they'll have monster games, bro. It doesn't matter.
That's just Shanahan's scheme.
Yeah, it's Kyle Shanahan. He's genius.
Yeah, so that's by my lonesome on the Seahawks.
Seattle could definitely win the game, even with the Niners backups. It just Kyle Shanahan seems to do well in the division too, so that's something I didn't take into account for last week. But anyway, we'll move on. Titans at Texans. Their first match is actually very close.
They need to win this game still, the Titans.
Yeah, and the Texans are just putrid, man. How can you not beat the Bengals?
The Colts could still win the AFC South if the Titans lose. There's like
Is Deshaun playing?
Yeah,
I believe so.
I'm still gonna pick the Titans. It's just I think
let's see if JJ Watt's speech uplifted the team because that was powerful.
What to win in Week 17 for what?
But the
he's calling
post game
for
speech
like quitting and not.
He said it doesn't matter. Like The fans could look at it like, oh, okay, they don't even have their pick. Of course, what are they not going to play for?
Yeah, look,
Unless they're gonna try to win.
I get that they're playing because they don't have their pick, but they're a sorry team. I think the Titans are playing for a lot more.
No, 100%. That's why I'm picking the Titans. But I want to see if they do play better, the Texans, because of
I would
J.J.
hope so because they looked horrible last week. You can't look much worse than you did
Watt.
last
Yeah, but
week.
so did the Titans.
I get that, but like, hold on.
The Titans didn't look like a playoff team last week.
I forgot who the Titans played last week. Hold on.
Packers.
Packers.
Oh, dude, you're comparing two different matchups here. A lot of teams would look bad against the Packers, man.
I'm just saying, it's just a statement. I'm not.
I know, but I'm just saying, if
you're
you're the Texans and you can't win against a sorry team like the Bengals, that's an issue.
It is.
I'm not picking the Texans to win.
I'm
just saying.
I'm picking the Texans. I'm going spoilers. I'm going spoilers.
After I just ranted for 2 minutes about them being a sorry team, you're gonna do it?
I'll tell you something. Titans defense is sorry too, man. I could have scored against that defense.
Nah, yeah, they are. That looks so bad. Even with like Jadavion Clowney, nothing
this
all year.
I think their first matchup will happen kind of again. I think Derrick Henry's gonna have another monster game. It's not gonna be surprised. I think the Titans offense will get going for sure. I mean, against this Texans defense, what offense wouldn't in the league? But I do believe I just think Deshaun Watson's going to play spoilers. I think what Peter said with J.J. Watt, I think their defense will come a little bit better than it was last week. The Texans, I mean, they let Brandon Allen go for almost 400 yards, and the run game is insane. Listen, I picked the Titans at first, but I just want to play spoilers here. Like I don't know. I want something interesting to happen in Week 17 that we're not expecting, and I think this is the best chance for this. This is the best chance for like a big upset to happen. And
Vrabel's not going to let that happen. Vrabel's not going to miss the playoffs.
I do want the Colts to make the playoffs, so I'm giving them like scenarios to make it. So I'm just picking the Texans.
Especially if Miami wins too.
Don't bet on the Texans
at the 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
don't bet on the Texans.
Yeah. Don't bet on the Texans.
For the love of God.
All right. So it's 2 Titans, 1 Texans. We're at the last game now.
Yep.
Sunday night.
Washington at Philly.
No.
Washington they win the NFC East.
Yeah, I already said it earlier when we talked about Dallas and
who's playing a quarterback for Washington?
Alex Smith.
Okay. I could have Washington. I could have Washington winning this game.
I thought it was the backup playing.
No, Alex Smith. He's at practice today.
Was he actually?
Yeah.
Ooh, I did not know that. I know Terry McLaurin. I looked it up when we were talking about the Giants.
Smith is taking part in individual drills.
That's good. It's a good sign.
Yeah.
What's Terry McLaurin doing?
So he was out of practice yesterday, but today he was on the sideline working with trainers.
That's still not practicing.
I know, but
he had a high ankle sprain. I'll guess even if he does play, he's not
100%.
Play all the snaps. They said.
All right, yeah. So I'm just gonna lock it in as an Eagles pick then. What are you gonna do without your number 1 player on offense? McKissick's not gonna
throw to Logan
shoulder that load.
Logan Thomas.
Yeah, Logan Thomas is gonna get double-digit targets again.
Yeah, but Logan Thomas and McKissick aren't gonna shoulder the load that you need to win a game. So chalk it up. Jalen Hurts gonna have a monster game. But maybe not because Chase Young might be attacking him all game. But
Chase Young, man, was a monster last week.
If Alex Smith plays, there's a chance. See, I was under the assumption Alex Smith wasn't playing. If Alex Smith plays, I'm not switching my pick. I'll stay with Philly. But there's definitely a way for Washington. Because, again, they're playing for the division as well. Alex Smith knows what it is. Ron Rivera knows what it is. They've played, without their playmakers before. So there's definitely a way for Washington to win. I just think if you're going to pick an upset, it'll be Philadelphia, doing spoilers and stopping Washington from getting in.
Yeah.
Again, because they're just a healthier roster right now.
I also picked Philly. I'm with Markello. I just can't see, even though, Dallas did score a bunch of points on the Eagles, I just can't see what Washington have in offense right now. And, Alex Smith maybe come back after 3 weeks with a injured Terry McLaurin. Even if he does play, he's got a high ankle sprain. It's only been like a week and a half. It's just Washington not dealing with a lot on offense. So if they do want to win this game, like they would have to score on special teams or defense. That's not guaranteed, although Jalen Hurts does cough up the ball a lot. I'm just going to go Philly. I don't think this is even an upset because it's in Philly. And
I think Washington is favored to win, though.
Maybe,
I'll check right now.
Check.
I would doubt it's by a lot.
On the Yahoo Pick'em, Eagles are favored 60 60%.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
On
Well, I guess
ESPN,
we're not.
Washington is favored 60%.
Yeah, so I don't know. They could go either way this game.
The Texans.
Washington is playing for something.
The Titans are
Or
favored
not.
at 92%. I picked the Texans at 7.
And Terry McLaurin is like doubtful.
Right now.
No bueno. Yeah, no bueno.
Yeah,
just
so
bet it.
I'm sticking with Philly.
Yeah, me too.
Well, that's it for week 17. But before you want to talk about the coaching candidates or no?
Yeah, I'll let you guys go on because again, it's the off season for you guys, and I'll let you guys run rapid with who you want.
For me, I don't care.
coaching-wise,
My coaching staff's going to stay the same.
Apparently, you don't want Daniel Jones. All right,
Look,
before you go into it, wherever Joe Brady goes in the offseason, I'm following him because he's going to win a Super Bowl within 5 years or wherever he goes. That's the only thing I want to say.
I like him. I like him for the Jets, but I know Ryan was saying he wants Matt Campbell.
I mean, I'm not going to complain about Joe Brady either. But I think it's between Matt Campbell, Joe Brady, and Winkstale from Baltimore for the Jets job. For Detroit, they've been saying Robert Saleh for like a long time because he's from there. Like it makes sense. I don't know why they'd go back to a defensive coach, but I do think he is better than Patricia. Like I hated the Matt Patricia hire. I thought he was like, he was kind of like a puppet with Belichick. He was never doing actually anything. So hopefully Detroit figure it out. You guys, I heard Bieniemy is like looking likely to Houston with Deshaun Watson. That's like a possible fit. That would be cool for the Texans and Watson, but the Texans.
I think the Texans would be lucky to have him.
They have a lot of work to do besides like coaching. They need to fill out the roster badly.
I don't know how they're going to do that.
JJ Watt's leaving. I'm pretty sure, like being traded. I don't know what you can get for him at this point. Probably like a second.
They have to trade him. They have no picks to work with.
You're not getting it first.
What about cap space? Do you know Houston's cap space situation?
They're
They have no
given the
picks.
cap.
They should
No,
have
no picks.
They're decent. They're decent in the cap, with the exception of like JJ Watt's contract, Deshaun Watson's contract. Brandon Cooks, I think, has a nice one, and I think who's it? Tunsil.
Yeah, Tunsil, and they signed McKinney last offseason.
Yeah, so I think that's all they're tied up with. Other than that, they're pretty wide open.
Right.
That's why I don't think they're giving Fuller a deal. I don't think
they had no money though last offseason, and they like before they traded Hopkins, and then they took on Cook's contract, which made no sense. They didn't want to extend Hopkins or whatever.
They'll probably deal him out too, or whatever. Yeah, for whatever they can get. Well, I think they're just gonna build that team from the base up from this point.
All down. It's just tough to do that when you have a top 5 quarterback in Watson,
and you're paying him like a top 5 quarterback.
I mean, if you script it the right way and you can get like decent players and some decent serviceable picks and you draft the right way, it could work. But you got to pull a miracle.
Yeah, they're going to be interesting to monitor, the Texans, because like they've needed this for a while, but Bill O'Brien just kept getting the playoffs in the first round, and usually they would exit. Although last year they did win a playoff game, but this seems like it's been a long time coming for Houston, unfortunately. The other coaching jobs, I think, are Atlanta, right? I believe the Bengals are safe. Zach Taylor, I thought he was going to get fired, honestly, but he's won the last 2. So he just beat the Steelers, So I don't think he's in any danger. And they were talking about Philly firing Doug Peterson, but after Jalen Hurts' last 3 performances, even though they didn't beat Dallas, I still think he's safe for another year. Although he would be, I guess, Philly could still let him go, I guess. It's been a bad year for them. Would you want anybody in Atlanta, Markello?
For what, in terms of
their job? Like, I know Raheem Morris has done okay as the interim head coach, but
yeah, I don't think he's done too bad actually. I say give him a little bit of a go and then see how that goes.
I think he will get an interview for sure. I just don't know if Atlanta's gonna. Because Atlanta's another major question.
I just think Atlanta's very tricky in terms of what's going down because they need to figure out if they're going to keep contending or if they're just going to clean house right now and then ship Matt Ryan and Julio Jones somewhere. So I think if we see Julio Jones and Matt Ryan out, we'll see a new coach. But I think if we see them stay, they might just let like Raheem Morris just chill out there for a little bit, see what he could do.
What they could do is I don't believe they can get rid of both contracts, but there has been talk about them shipping off Julio Jones, which would kind of make sense to get something back in return because Ridley's been on fire anyway. They could just leave Matt Ryan for another year and kind of like maybe draft Justin Fields at 4 or Trey Lance and let them develop.
I think that's the plan for them is draft a quarterback and then let them develop behind Matt Ryan for a year.
That has to be the only way because, Ryan, we talked about this last week. Like, just contract-wise and cap space-wise, they can't get rid of both Matt Ryan and Julio Jones right now. I think they have to wait at least a year for the money to work and all that, depending on where they send them or release them or however they do it. So I think the most realistic scenario is I'd clean house. I'd hire somebody from the outside into the organization, a whole culture change, right? Don't bring back Todd Gurley because his NFL career is done. Ride out with Calvin Ridley as your number one receiver. Get whatever you could get for Julio. And draft, like you said, a quarterback and have him sit behind Matt Ryan, which that scares me as a Saints fan because I think this is going to be a great QB class.
See, at that point, I think if you're Atlanta, I just call up Baltimore and be like, yo, give me your pick 20, whatever it is, and I'll give you Julio Jones.
I think that's still possible. I think they could get a first.
That's interesting.
You know what I mean? Like if I'm Atlanta right now, I'm on the phone with Baltimore. Like, hey guys, you have no wideouts, and
it's a win-win for both teams. Yeah.
Yeah, you get. I think Julio's worth a first-round pick. He's got what 3-4 years left in him.
He just needs to stay healthy. If he's not healthy, he's useless.
I would definitely do it, Markello. Where Baltimore will picking, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That
would be a great one.
I also believe Beckham's going to be traded in the offseason.
I know.
Bring him to Louisiana.
To be honest, bro,
Obviously
I would love to see him go to the Saints. I hate to say it, he's not coming back home to the Giants, even though I love that.
I wouldn't count out the Jets as a possibility.
Nah, he's not going to the Jets.
Beckham wants back in New York.
Odell
he loved New York. He loved New York. Don't get me wrong.
Will want to come back to New York, and just the Jets aren't going to do it.
Why wouldn't the Giants do it? He was such a great scheme fit, and Gettleman's probably not going to be there next year anyway to make that decision.
I want him, bro.
I
never wanted to traded him.
I don't think Gettleman gets
traded him for a bag of chips.
You think Gettleman stays?
Yep.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too.
There's been a lot of talk on the radio about like a lot of people have been praising him recently.
Why?
I mean, look, this year's moves. Look, this offseason moves were good. This was a step in the right direction.
He'll still be fine. Yeah, but I don't care.
He's done too much wrong, and he's wasted too many years, and he's made too many bad decisions. He prolonged your rebuild process. The only good decision he made was bringing in Joe Judge.
And he still made a mistake at 4 taking Andrew Thomas, even though I think Thomas will round out to be a good player or solid. He's just not going to be.
If you're picking at 4, you want a Hall of Fame player.
He's not going to be back.
If I was picking at 4, I was going to take Jedrick Wills.
He was the best.
But Mekhi Becton has just looked the best out of all of them.
Well, I mean, I'm a Jet fan, so I'm biased, so I don't know about that. He's been phenomenal, but like
I think he has.
Even Tristan Wirfs has been playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
No, he's looked great too.
Class has been, and he took the wrong one out of. He could have went like right with any 3 of them, and he took the wrong one. So
yeah, we had first dibs.
Gettleman's issue.
You know what I mean,
but he has done some, I guess, good things like Martinez, Bradbury.
Even Slayton was a good. Like Slayton just kind of looked bad this year.
No,
I know, but you're trying to make the playoffs and win a Super Bowl, and you're not going to do that with Gettleman. Making the roster and drafting these players.
Yeah, I agree. I think he should be let go. I think it's a mistake. I think he'll be fired next year anyway. But
let's not forget the decision to trade back up into the first round
for Baker.
Oh yeah, for the convict. Yeah, for the convict. Yeah.
All right. Well,
what kind of decision was that?
Before we end the podcast, I believe we have one more coaching spot open. The Jacksonville Jaguars. So they have a general manager spot open and I believe a head coaching job. There's no reason why Doug Marrone should stay, although that team is nuts, so they might. What do you guys think? Does Jacksonville have to be one of the nicest, like not nicest, but one of the greatest?
Jacksonville is the most attractive destination in the NFL right now for a head coach.
Oh, no. The Chargers. We forgot about the Chargers. We'll mention Jacksonville first.
I think Jacksonville takes it by far. You have Trevor Lawrence, a massive amount of cap space, good pieces.
2 firsts, 2 seconds.
2 firsts, 2 seconds, 2 or 3 good pieces on your defense, and what's the corner's name?
C.J. Henderson. Although he
C.J. Henderson
to start.
Yeah. But look, C.J. Henderson has promise. Josh Allen looks great. So I think by far Jacksonville is going to get probably the best head coach. And
you need a culture change. You need to bring in somebody who you have confidence could develop.
That's another place I wouldn't mind to see Joe Brady go. Because I think him and Trevor Lawrence would be crazy.
But I want
crazy.
Jacksonville winning the championship is not going to make me happy. That's boring.
I know, but it would be fun to see, dude. You can't say it.
I honestly don't think he ends up there.
Really?
Yeah. I got
What
a
are you
feeling.
thinking?
Funny
Who do you
feeling.
think goes?
Well, they've been talking about Urban Meyers coming out of retirement.
I was thinking about that too. I was like, but I don't think so, man. I don't know.
I don't know what the long-term plan would be because wouldn't he just retire in 3 or 4 years anyway? Again, like I don't know. There's been talk about Marvin Lewis possibly getting that job, or Jim Caldwell. Like they just want a like CEO type of coach. Jacksonville. That's apparently what they've been looking for. So, I mean, if they do that after having possibly at least the second best, position, Trevor Lawrence, all of the money, all the cap space, I don't know. I mean, I guess what they should do is probably hire GM first and maybe let him pick. I don't think ownership should be making the decisions. That usually goes wrong whenever ownership does around the NFL. Especially Jacksonville's owners. They are not good owners, so they know nothing.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think you got to hire your GM, but I think you need to take a very good, deep look into a lot of these coaches because a lot of these coaches can help you out.
Jacksonville should have like the pick, I'm saying like the top of the coach. Like I don't think there's one clear cut like top coaching candidate though. Like usually we have like someone that's like always sought out after.
When Brady should be that guy.
Like Jacksonville should be able to do what the Panthers did last year with Matt Rule and just walk up to any coach they want to, give them a blank check with their name on it and be like, here, give me your price.
They should get Matt Campbell if they're doing that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's what Jacksonville should be doing right now.
And what do you guys think about the Chargers? I mean, because the Chargers are probably going to win 4 in a row, I think, to end the season, or they won the last 3.
And Justin Herbert came out defending Anthony Lynn.
Yeah, I think he keeps for another season at least.
That's going to be disappointing for Herbert's development.
I think he gets fired, and they hire the Bills' offense coordinator, Brian Dobell, because he actually went to high school with the Chargers GM. And I think that makes a lot of sense. Herbert's kind of like, I wouldn't say identical to Allen, but in terms of like body size, arm strength, not athleticism. Yeah. We know what Allen is, but like Herbert's rookie year has been absolutely insane. I think that would be a great fit. And, Anthony Lynn is just, Peter's mentioned it 100 times since can't remember the clock management, major issue. And just, he's not aggressive enough with that kind of, especially with that kind of offense he has. It's not aggressive. You're playing in division against the Chiefs. Denver should be better next year. And even the Raiders have been solid. So to play conservative like that, you just can't do it.
It'll be interesting, but we have time till the offseason. We still have the playoffs, guys. Just because your season's over doesn't mean everybody's is.
I finished the mock draft already. I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Oh, come on. It's too early for that stuff.
All I'm going to say, Peter, is I believe 20 out of 32 teams are over. So more than half the league.
Whatever. It's still December 31st as we're recording, and we're doing mock drafts.
Listen, some of us our season's been over for a while, so. And
Markel's acting like his season's over now. He could be in the playoffs next week.
He doesn't want to be because he's smart.
Yeah, I don't want to be. I've been playing this for a while, dude. It doesn't matter if you want to
be. You still could be. There's a possibility that you could be.
But that's like purgatory then, because then they get stuck picking in the 20s, and you have listen.
I'm not going to get anyone of service in the 20s.
Look at it like this.
Terrence Marshall.
Dave
Be optimistic.
Dave Gettleman can't get the pick right at 4. What makes you think he's going to get it right at 20?
I know. Just be optimistic. If you beat Dallas and Philly beats Washington, you're in the playoffs, and you're playing again. I would still pick the Buccaneers. You would play against the Buccaneers, and even though the Buccaneers are going to be heavy favorites to win that game, when you played them that primetime game, what was it, Monday night? It was a close game. It came down to the wire. It came down to that one pass in the end zone that just didn't make it.
Don't give me false hope.
Even if they do somehow beat the Bucs, then that
team. Who cares? That's a playoff win for New York.
But who cares? Because Daniel Jones won't be the quarterback in a year.
If Daniel Jones makes the playoffs and beats Tom Brady in the wild card round, he will be the quarterback next year.
There's no way. You can't.
There is a way. Easily a way.
The Giants aren't making the playoffs, so they're not. They're not. And Daniel Jones.
I'm with Ryan on this one. We're not making the playoffs, dude. It's just not going to happen.
There's still a chance for Daniel Jones to be the quarterback next year, even if they lose this week.
And that next year, but I'm just saying the year after that, he should.
Maybe, but there's also going to be so many quarterbacks that are going to be on the move this offseason, dude.
All right, we're going into the playoffs. We're not going into the offseason.
The offseason is usually the best time of the year.
I know, but we have months to talk about the offseason. We should talk about playoff football and seeding.
We will when we get
to
the
New Orleans Saints and the Seahawks and the Bears all winning.
We're gonna get to we covered them this week, but the matchups will be for the wild card next week.
This week we're all Seahawks and Bears fans.
I'm just rooting for the Colts to make the playoffs. So, but anyway,
it'll be interesting.
Thank you guys for joining us. Have a happy New Year.
Happy New Year's, everybody. See you guys
Happy
next
New
week.
Year, guys.